Abracadabra, abahunana, abahunana, la da da.
It took me so long to figure it out, but I think I've actually got it, considering
You know the lyrics?
how bad I am with lyrics, famously.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, I'll probably forget it now, but abracadabra, abra-unana, abracadabra, amo ugaga. It's like a tongue twister.
Yeah. Great little warm-up.
Yeah, but there's a second abracadabra in there that I didn't realize. I was like, she's doing something else there. And
do you think she tried? She was like, had that blank for a while. I was like, what should I put in here? And then eventually she's like, just say it again.
With different, I think it's because it's got different emphasis.
Just to go abracadabra.
Different emphasis on a different syllable. You know, it's abracadabra, abra-ugaga, abracadabra. It just, it really tripped me out.
Can I ask, as someone who recently, you have been in a theatrical season performing a play every night unmiked, what tongue twisters were you doing before you went on? I think the listeners, I think of course I would love to know.
My wet cock throbs. No. Cue theme song.
I'm sorry, Mom. It's not a phase. It's the male gaze. They're both male and they're both gay. The male gaze.
Welcome along to this week's episode
Of the male gaze.
Live in studio.
We're back in the studio.
We're back in the
Hell
studio.
yeah.
It
You can
feels
probably
so-
hear the electricity.
The chemistry, the fan in the background.
Yes, the fan of it. And it's not too hot yet,
It's not
but
too
it will
hot.
get there.
This temperature, I've been coming back from
Yes.
Adelaide, let me tell you this. Weather is sublime.
Yeah, lay it on me. When it comes to Adelaide, what's your opinion? I've never been, and I don't know. I want to
I
check it
think you
out.
should definitely go. It's an amazing fringe. I guess it's expensive to go to be able to like perform for smaller crowds. Like
yeah. There's less people living there, right?
There's less people there. Well, it's funny. Guy and I talk about this all the time because we always tour together and have this sort of crazy relationship of sort of like, are we husbands? Are we brothers? Like it's always sort of teetering on. It's
an amazing game to play when you see people out on the street as well.
Yeah, exactly. Dad or daddy.
Yeah.
But it's like, it would be one of our best cities.
If it was in New Zealand,
Yes.
you mean? Yeah.
And then
of course,
because it's in Australia, they all sort of like dismiss it in this way.
It's funny because I think even from New Zealand we shit on Brisbane, but if Brisbane was here, we'd be like,
It'd be like, well,
God, can't wait to
everyone
go.
live there.
Weekend in Brisbane. And you said you were living like a teenage boy on the messenger chat, so I'd love you to go into that, to your lifestyle, to the routine. What was
It just
going
falls
on for you.
apart. I mean, Michael's away. He's been away now for 3 weeks.
Oh wow.
He's in Colombia.
Yeah.
So I've been on my own, and that's totally fine. We feel like, I know I do want to be one of those like people in a relationship that can handle being away from each other, but
And especially when you are normally the person leaving him alone. You know, like you are about to go to Melbourne for a month. Yeah.
Exactly. It's been good timing because I'm about to go to Melbourne again. Yeah. So we're sort of
It's good timing because now you'll never see each other.
exactly. And absence makes the heart go stronger. Fonder? Stronger?
I think it's fonder.
It is fonder.
Yeah.
If you think of something growing fonder. No, now that I say that, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. I've grown fonder of many things, including what's something I didn't used to like that I like now? I don't know. Prawns.
Totally.
Yeah.
Actually, and I've always loved prawns.
As a kid.
Yeah, they're the ones I've always sort of...
Wow.
I would say probably for me, tomatoes.
Oh, yes. I'm with you on that. Yeah.
way. In a big way.
Potatoes for me.
But for me, the more fucked up the tomato, the more I like it. Versus I don't want to eat like the picture of a tomato.
Wow, like a bright red.
Like just a round
juicy.
circle. Anyway, I don't know. It all just falls apart, doesn't it? Like I'm going to bed at weird times. I'm like, I've decided I'm not going to like adapt to the time change, but I still have to stay up late for gigs, but then I don't know when I'm going to sleep, and I'm waking up early. Like it's all weird like that.
Oh,
and then you're just eating so weird because you're in a hotel room and so you're eating out, or like, and then you got a show, so that fucks up your schedule.
Cooking for one is impossible. Is, in my gay opinion, impossible.
It's impossible.
Every time if I'm alone and I'm like, I should actually cook, it's just a ticking time bomb for when I'm going to be like, what's the point?
I do think
What's the point in cooking if no one's going to say, yum, thank you?
I've heard this a few times, but I do agree. I think there needs to be more food options for one. Like I think all dining. I think actually it should be the standard.
Wow.
And then anything
you walk into a restaurant, it's full of like classroom desks.
Or like you can have big tables and stuff, but there should always be there should be a law that there should be seating options for one.
It's crazy how embarrassing it feels to walk into a cafe and say just me.
Yeah.
I hate that feeling. And I do it weekly.
Yeah, but it's amazing because you can always usually get a seat.
That's
so
true.
The place in Adelaide to eat was this place called Midnight Spaghetti, and it's like such a cool, fun name. Not open till midnight. You can only get spaghetti till 11, but it's. But it's
perfect.
Like that.
Spaghetti till 11. Oh, 11 p.m.
11 p.m.
I think you mean 11 a.m. I was like, what is this cuckoo place?
It's upstairs of like one of those classic pubs that Australia does so well. They just hold on.
Why don't we
to
have any of
Oh,
those?
fuck, because we can't.
They have them on every corner. We don't have one.
And they're all lit.
And they're pumping.
And
They're
people
all
love
filled.
them. I
Yeah.
know, and they're filled with people. We gotta get it.
It's great.
together.
Should we meet at the Lord's Arms?
And then just have a normally priced beer.
I know.
It's
It's
so
psychotic. They've got a
all
lovely garden.
And all of our ones are like themed.
I know.
It's like, it's pub themed. I'm like,
Yeah.
can't it just be a fucking pub?
All of our ones are like, there's 500-inch TVs all playing different sports games. The volume's up on all of them. Have fun.
Yes. So it's upstairs of one of those places, and they've like dicked it out and turned it into like and like not in a like way that feels like a Disney park restaurant, but it's just like really. But a bit, I like a bit of grime. Like it's a bit there's sort of board games on the wall, and like
Oh, wow.
you know, there's like all the drying dead flowers over there, and it's just got a really like candles, wax everywhere. It's got a nice.
Sounds dreadful. Board games on the wall?
Not like on a shelf. There are lots of people playing. I think you could take.
Oh, you can play board games.
You can play
there.
board games there,
Okay, I'm in.
but it's not a board game cafe.
Yeah.
Let's
It's
just-
important distinction.
It's a very important distinction.
We've got a couple of board games, but please.
We ain't doing board games and
Nothing. This
spaghetti.
is not. If Warhammer gets opened here, you're out.
Suddenly we become board game and spaghetti night.
Yeah.
And then what was I saying? Oh, you could just go in and get a table. Oh, like
Table for one.
but the thing was, I'd want a bowl of pasta, right? Perfect. A perfect thing to order on yourself. Single serve. You know, it's not a small plate, big plate. Because small plate, big plate, very solo exclusionary.
True.
'Cause you can
Because a
only-
small plate is like, we'll get three between the
It's
two
like,
of
it's actually
us.
designed to be shared here. You're like, okay, well, what if I'm eating on my own and I want to eat here because the food looks yum? Can't you share a few things onto one plate?
You've really nailed on something that I've never really thought about, which is like how exclusionary these restaurants are. Now that everything is sharing. For the solo diner.
We are single
For touring
allies.
comedians? What are you doing to us?
But then, here's the kicker. I'm a big side guy. I love garlic bread. If I, I love.
profile name.
A big side guy.
Big side
I
guy.
love hand jobs. If I see garlic bread on the menu,
You have to get it.
I'm fucking getting it.
But how much-
fucking love garlic bread.
Yeah, and how much do you want as a solo person?
Exactly.
That's
It's
really
filled
hard.
with like because it's the naughtiest of the sides.
It is, especially because it's always coming with pizza or pasta. So you're essentially adding another carb dish with no nutritional value on top of the carb dish.
But
that
we're
you're already
eating spaghetti, so we know we're doing carbs. We
Yeah,
embrace
yeah.
the carb. But I'm looking at these sides and I'm just like, dear God, like they all look great. Do I want arancini balls? I don't want 3 arancini balls. That is a bowl of risotto in ball form.
Yeah. You know what all restaurants should be like? Have you been to MK restaurant in Hanma Springs?
No, I haven't.
It's a molecular cooking experience. It is
molecular.
Yeah, and I don't
Molecules?
know what molecular cooking is, but it's sort of like sciencey. Like
I would say that generally all cooking comes down to a science.
It's a lot of infusion stuff. So like one of
got
the
you.
so basically this restaurant, you order dumplings. There's 5 types of dumplings, and that'll be the main part of your dish. And then everyone gets the same plate, and the plate has about honestly 9 little side pieces.
Oh my God, sorry. I'm working so hard to visualize this. You've each got dumplings.
You've each got dumplings, so that'll take up maybe a third of your plate.
Wait, you've each got your own plate?
big round plate, all your own plate. And
so
then
it's a single eating experience.
single eating experience.
You got a big circle plate in front of you.
Yeah.
How big are we talking?
It's longer than it's wide. I reckon it's like
Oh, I see. It's an oval.
25 centimeters by 10, maybe. You know?
Yeah, got you.
It's like a long one.
And then the dumplings, we got 6 dumplings in a row or something?
It's like 3 or 4 dumplings in their own bowl, and then
On the plate.
On the plate,
I'm
but
so
the bowl's
sorry.
on the plate, and then around that, you've got what I would describe as 10 individual tasting experiences. Like one of the things, and this is I feel like the most
10 experiences for dumplings.
No, these are just sides that you eat on their own.
Oh, God, I get you.
So there's one bit which is like a tiny bit of red onion that's been infused with like cinnamon and a bunch of other stuff, and then you just eat that red onion.
Oh.
There's like an amazing cracker with some mousse which has got like Vegemite infused into it. Like everything's got some sort of infusion.
Yeah, I love it.
And then the same for the dessert. The dessert, you pick an ice cream and you get your 1 scoop of ice cream. That's what you chose, and then you have like all these little side dishes on the side.
So it's like eating like a bird.
Yeah, it is, but it's so good. But
Yeah.
it's what you're describing, because it's like, instead of having to pick one of those things and order a whole plate, you get to taste every side option they have.
1,000%. Exactly. What I want is a solo portion, a single portion of garlic bread.
Yeah.
But all we could get was like it was like a tinfoil like roll of
like a whole long one.
And it was so cool how it came out. It was delicious, and it tastes like the garlic bread, like how you want garlic bread to taste, which is like French baguette.
Yeah.
Slice. It's a bit
chunky
wet.
bits of garlic.
No. Well, that is great too. But you know, when it's just like 90s garlic bread, mum's like, I'm heating out. I'll chuck the garlic bread in the oven.
Yeah.
And it's like not fully crunchy. It's more like soft. That's what I do. Sort of have a soft spot for that.
That's nice.
But too much garlic bread every time, and I was like, I want it, but it feels so embarrassing when it arries.
And
I did it twice.
How much did you eat, and did you take any home? Or
Always
anything?
ate all of it.
Yeah, hell yeah. So then, do we have a problem or not?
Well, we do have a problem because I don't want to waste the food. I don't want to take garlic bread home. I have no way to reheat it in my hotel room.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat the whole
thing.
I can eat so much, but I need someone to do the work for me and be like, "That's enough."
You know what I need to change in terms of traveling? I want them to give me a toaster in my hotel room.
And I think there usually is one.
No, I don't think there ever is because of the fire risk.
I feel like there's always
a toaster?
And I'm always surprised. I'm always like, a toaster. Like, it's so weird you say that. I literally was like in a normal hotel room in Adelaide and was like, it only had a jug and a mini fridge. And then I looked around and I was like, oh,
there's a toaster.
There's a toaster.
I need to stay in this hotel because I've just been, when I was in Sydney at the Urban, which is a lovely hotel, and it's got stovetop, it's got pots and pans, it's got a kettle,
toaster,
it's got an espresso.
That's crazy.
It doesn't have a toaster, and I think it's because of the fire risk, right? But then I always end up eating, because then I try and like save money. I'm like, I'm going to buy some food, have it there to have it. What I want in the morning is toast, but what I end up having to have is either a cold sandwich or cereal and yogurt, which is, I think, good for you, but does make me shit.
Does it?
Yeah.
Cereal and yogurt.
You like Greek yogurt.
Oh, fair enough.
That really
I was
everything
raised
going.
on 2 pieces of toast.
Yeah.
2 pieces of Marmite toast. And I was like 14, growing 3 centimeters a day.
Yeah.
And just being like, I'm so tired at like 10 a.m. And it was because I'd had the thinnest slices of like white toast bread with like Marmite on it.
God, on Saturday we'd been out and we were going home and we were like, oh, what are we going to do for lunch? You know, it had been a little bit too long, and then we passed Bunnings and we were like, oh my God, perfect. Walk up to Bunnings. It's like 4 p.m. I think. We're like, this is going to be the perfect late lunch. The guy before us orders the final sausages.
Fuck!
And then
it's actually so cool that you can just get a sausage on a Saturday.
It's amazing.
Like, it's just like one for like $1.
And help a school build a pool or whatever, you know? Like, it's
get 4
awesome.
kids to the Gold Coast.
Yeah,
like,
it's perfect.
It's actually, you're so right. It's a perfect snack. Sometimes I'll go to Bunnings because I just need a little snack.
Yeah, and then you can have a look around while you eat it. But then we were so like driven that we then had to go buy a loaf of white bread, buy some like Hella's pre-cooked sausages, make this at home.
Fuck yeah.
But now we have like so much white bread that I will not eat.
Feed it to the birds.
Yeah, you're right.
A duck activity. Go feed some ducks.
Because I don't really like white bread apart from that So, like if I'm gonna have toast,
I have a soft spot for white bread. I think I have it there's a couple of like combinations I want, and one of those combinations is like Maggi chicken 2-minute noodles in a polystyrene cup that's going to go straight into the earth and never decompose. Decompose? Decompose.
Compost. Decompose. Yeah.
I was like, does a human body anyway, I guess
a human body does decompose, yeah.
And polystyrene does not.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thought.
Yeah. That Maggi noodle
Women are
cup
born
will
with the
outlast
eggs that are
you.
inside them to create their next child. And
polystyrene
cups will outlive you.
Yeah.
These are the facts of life.
And all those eggs.
The 2-minute noodles you had in 1997 still exists today.
That's crazy to think about, isn't it?
It's beautiful to think about. Where are they now?
Yeah. Pixar movie alert. Could say that about any object. This is a sad dinner that I had in Sydney. I bought a 2-minute, like a polystyrene cup, and then I was like, this needs a bit of protein. So then I just spooned peanut butter in it and I stirred it through to make like a satay.
That could work, yeah.
It was almost right. It was almost right.
You've got
just a little wrong.
Yeah, I could see how that happened.
Me eating that, watching Australian Survivor in my bed.
Acting like you are on Survivor.
Yeah.
Australian Survivor. I'm going to survive this Australian trip.
Yeah, you got it.
So I always have a soft spot for Maggi noodles, chicken.
Yeah.
And a bit of white sandwich bread, thick, like
on the side.
Yep, with butter on it.
I mean, it's almost like,
and then I'm dipping it. You get that cold butter, and then like the salty like chemicals of the noodles.
This is almost like the childlike version of you having like spaghetti with garlic bread on the side.
Truly?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
God, I've got full body chills.
Yeah.
I've got full body chills.
We never change.
We
never change.
Let's have a wee discussion about mayhem.
Okay, wow. I've already pissed people off about it.
Have you?
Yes.
I was sort of like dozing when I was looking over your stories. I didn't quite fully read what...
It was too much text for an Instagram story, and
I'll
wear that.
I was like, get a Substack.
I know, literally, I was like, I could have written this on our Substack, which we have. Probably a perfect platform for this.
What were your feelings? I think it's good to have any feeling about anything, and it doesn't have to align with anyone.
Here's my thing. I'm not a Gaga gay, really. I've never been. She is not an artist that I often listen to for pleasure, I would say.
No.
But I do keep up with the career.
Yes.
And I did like Chromatica, the remix album especially. That hit during lockdown, and I would always listen to it while running, and I thought it was really good. This album, I text you. I was listening to it at the gym. I got like 5 tracks into it, and I text you. I was like, this Gaga album is good.
Yeah.
And then...
There's a drop-off. And the song is...
The song is called How Bad Do You Want Me? And it is a Taylor Swift ripoff, and it's crazy. Although, actually, before that, there's a song called Love Drug, which I think
it's one before Love Drug that I think there's a bit of a drop-off.
Zombie Boy.
Oh, no. It's after Zombie Boy. So Zombie Boy is so fun.
Zombie Boy's fun.
We struggle for about 2 or 3 songs, and then we're back.
Yeah, and then we're back. I agree.
But every album has a couple of skips, right?
Yes.
Well, I mean, apart from ones that don't. And they are some of the greatest records of our time.
All time. Yeah. Yes.
I guess were we expecting Gaga's 7th studio album at, 20 years?
She's 38 now. I just watched this SNL monologue this morning.
Yeah.
Because the last time she did SNL was in 2013. She was 27, and then she's now 38.
So she's what? How many years into her career? 15 or so.
Yeah, 15 to 20.
Do we expect that album to be the greatest one? I mean, in saying that, Beyonce has somehow been able to do this.
Yeah.
And it is
Possible.
unbelievable. It is possible.
Yeah. And I think maybe it is Lady Gaga's best album. That could be crazy. The Fame Monsters, I guess, her iconic one. But I was listening to it again this morning, and I do feel like I'm warming even to the parts that I didn't like.
I think there's this very interesting thing with her music. I agree in the sense that when Lady Gaga came on the scene, I was at a very probably conflicted time in my own sexuality.
Oh, truly.
And so she was being like, rah, rah, put your claws up. And I was like, nah, I'm going back into the closet.
I don't want anyone to see my claws.
And I imagine if I was like in a better place.
Yeah.
and she was there.
Mm.
It would have been really impactful. And then I didn't fully understand her. And I didn't understand art pop as it came out.
No.
Listening back to art pop now, it is such an amazing album. It's crazy how good that album is.
You think so?
Oh my God, I listened to it.
What's good on it?
So much as well.
GUI, I do like that.
GUI is amazing.
Why?
You know what I'm like with song lyrics and names, but everything's on.
Yeah.
When it's just playing, I just feel I'm playing it pre-show of my shows.
You're playing art pop. That's crazy.
I'm loving it.
Wow.
Venus.
Oh yeah, Venus is pretty fun.
There's some great. I can't be bothered looking, but it's worth a re-listen.
That's amazing. Maybe I will re-listen.
It's got a very unique sound to it. I think this is the thing with this new album. This is the thing I was sort of reflecting as I was listening to it in the car on the way here. We're kind of in this age now of I think our generation now responding directly to Brad.
Yes.
In a way. And that was maybe one of the coolest albums that has been released
ever. In history.
And I think a lot about cool as a quality. And there's a disconnect in cool. So it's about it's about caring, but not showing that you care. And it's about feeling something, but looking unbothered. And I feel like that album was so about that. And there's so much vulnerability in that album that's sort of concealed with techno and electronic sounds and auto-tune.
The most honest lyrics you've ever heard with the most false product.
It's like hearing Microsoft sing it to you.
Yes, exactly. But it works so well.
Gaga has never been cool. But she is she's always been there for in quotations, freaks.
Yeah.
And her music is emotional, but on her sleeve emotional. You could imagine her artboard. It's not cool, but it would be
it's exciting. It's fun.
This is the woman that wore blood, wore meat and paparazzi.
Wore the world's first flying dress, lest we forget, in the launch of Art Pop. An amazing moment in history. Perfect to reload.
She did Wizard of Oz,
oh yes,
cosplay. She's done that amazing VMA paparazzi performance.
The Sound of Music tribute.
Sound of Music. She's never been cool, and I think now that we're sort of in this era of being unfazed, sunglasses on, I'm taking my beta blocker or whatever it is, to sort of get through. I'm doing coke, and then to be it's such a whiplash for us in a way. But I'm there is still a side of me, and there are still spaces where I do want to get a bit freaky like that.
I know.
And it's so amazing that that album is, because I listened to Brat and I was like, I want to get fucked up in town. And you listen to Mayhem and you're like, I want to be at the closing night of my drama
show.
school.
Yeah, my high school theater show. Yeah.
And hook up with a woman.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Very much the vibe.
Yeah.
Because that's it for me. I'm even though I'm not a casual Gaga listener a lot, I have certainly gone hard at certain house parties to Gaga.
Yeah.
I think
she hits a certain, this is no judgment here. We pour respect on this name. She taps into a little bit of thing that
Robbie Williams
takes into.
Oh, you know, fully.
It's
let me entertain you. She's just bold and big. I think we just weren't invested in the period. I think Poker Face through to Bad Romance, that era, she was the coolest pop star.
Yeah, 100%.
But we were not in the place where we were, because I was super into indie music back then.
Yeah.
I didn't really care about pop mainstream.
But then indie was cool.
Indie was cool.
And so she's always been but she's so, it's not to say she's uncool, but she's she's vampy, she's camp, she's that's why she hosted Camp Met Gala, she's always been sort of I don't know, there's just...
She's never once felt like she's hitting the style of the moment. And
ever.
And I think that's maybe why the Taylor song is like irked me so much, is that it feels like it's
Yes.
trying to do like.
But imagine hearing a
pop
Taylor
now.
Swift. All I could think when I was driving and listening to it, because it came on just as I arrived, and I was like, it is like hearing a Taylor Swift song with someone better singing
With a
it.
better singer, yeah, it
And
is like
actually,
that.
that's kind of what I need. Like
Yeah.
the hook of that song
Yeah.
gives me goosebumps. Weirdly.
Really?
Yeah.
How bad do you want
Oh no,
me?
no, maybe not the hook. Then I can't even. Again, terrible with lyrics. But
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
she gets on this beautiful kind of like
Mm.
the bridge. Maybe is the bit that I'm like.
She does sound good on it, but it's just like from lyrics to production to backing vocals, every single thing is doing Taylor
Yeah.
Swift, which is like I even think that like vocally she's like holding back so that she sounds.
But then
more
is
like
Taylor
Taylor.
Swift doing someone?
I think Taylor Swift's sound is an amalgamation of a few things. So
Yeah,
like,
so I'm like, I feel like because Gaga's also going back to there as well. Like her references are so 80s,
yeah,
70s and 80s.
Prince, Bowie. I hear
Exactly.
NXS a lot on this album, who I
MJ.
love. MJ hardcore.
I'm hearing so much MJ, and it feels
Yeah.
so exciting, but like weirdly obvious to hear that in pop music. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
you're doing MJ.
Which I guess The Weeknd
Which
and
is
Bruno
like-
Mars have kind of done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then that's who she's sort of like collaborating with as well.
true,
in this
true.
interesting way. Like there's this other world of like
Mm.
pop musician that she's sort of. Have you seen her SNL performance for Killer?
Yeah, obsessed.
That's
It's so cool.
up there with one of the best television
It's so
performances
cool.
I've ever seen. For
Both
a
of them.
musician.
The Abracadabra is really
Abracadabra.
good too.
And then I
But
was
the
like,
killer is so fun and inventive, and the costume's so sick.
and I was just like, oh my God, that's what she is as well, is
Mm.
one of the greatest live performers and vocalists that we've got.
I was spun out that like because she was host and musical guest as well, and that feels like surely you want to like be conservative with your musical performances, given how much else you have to do that evening. And I'm like, she went balls to the wall with both
Crazy.
performances.
And sung in like 3 sketches.
Yeah. I love when she does the drums in Killer. Killer to me is the best song. That's the one that I'm actually adding to my rotate, and I think it will become.
I
song
love
that I
Killer,
listen to,
and I thought
yeah.
it was very interesting that she chose it
To perform.
to perform, because I think she was like, this is what I feel like happened was that, I mean, who knows? Like, literally, who knows? As like we know from like the Blake Lively thing, we are all puppets and
Yeah.
we're being constantly orchestrated. But I feel like Shadow of the Man, is that the Michael Jackson one?
Just absolutely spit water all down myself. Sorry.
noticed.
And if you want to see that, it's on the Substack.
yeah. That one is so like it's like crack in a way.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
I felt like,
yeah.
oh, they feel like that one might blow up. But Killer might be the actual hit that people want to listen to time and time again. And so like give it a performance and give people sort of the essence of the song on SNL.
And I think especially when you're doing like a throwback sound like that, it's like maybe this will hit super hard, but you can't. Because I think maybe this is why I'm like, it's definitely a good album, because I'm like, I couldn't pick what the next single is necessarily going to be. I think from the first 6 or 7 tracks, I'm like, it could be anything in there.
This is sort of what it feels like.
Garden of Eden, I know a lot of people are obsessed with, and that has really grown on me as well.
It is like when like a new Taylor album or whatever drops and everyone's like, it could be these 4. Like no one quite knows
which
which
is the
one to back.
one. Yeah. And it's so weird. It's so weird in today's world, because all of that used to be decided by like you would pick your singles, but now it's all it's all like as soon as something starts taking off on TikTok, then
So
you're
let's
like,
get,
I guess it's this.
4 people to do a dance to like 4 of these songs, see which dance
See
like
which
picks up, which
starts.
is so weird.
Because Apple would never have been like you would never have listened to the Charlie song and be like, oh, Apple will be one of the big songs.
But it was her sleeper hit. She kept referring to it as, but then like the true fans figured it out and did the dance to it, which is, and then changed the sort of like total direction of that song. It's such a weird time for pop music.
No.
Yeah.
And all this talk about Gaga as well always reminds me that like we always like, it's so much easier for a 25-year-old than it is for someone who's approaching 40, and it's just an annoying part of the world that like
Yeah.
we're just. It's like what I've been talking about this about my about my journey of like trying to play sports again. That like when you do sports at school, everyone's seen every time you tried sports and you're carrying the history with you, right?
Yes.
And it's like that with the Gaga album is that like we've heard everything she's ever done. So like
Yes.
the idea of freshness isn't as available to her. Whereas like Sabrina,
In a
Chapel,
way, but
Charlie,
I feel like she lost her. Oh yeah, totally.
they have the benefit of like we don't necessarily have too many expectations on.
No,
them.
everything is like an introduction.
Yeah, which is crazy because Charlie has like 10 albums, but
Yes.
still has never had that
Certainly
big
for Chapel
moment.
and Sabrina.
Yeah.
And I feel like Olivia Rodrigo weirdly in her second, like that's why like second and third albums are so like kind
So
of
tricky.
fraught.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting with like I guess the Lord album that we get
I know.
this year as well.
Yeah.
Which will be like I feel like she's weirdly an artist who's constantly coming up against that as well.
Yeah.
And it does feel like this time now where everyone's like trying to get back to. They sort of listened a lot to like something else and sort of like went in a different direction, and then have kind of gone back to the thing that they started doing and loved doing. And then even this Gaga thing is like this album isn't very. It doesn't actually feel like rough. Like it's more kind of like it's got like mojo.
Yeah, it's
like,
got like sexy like little licks and like
guitars being like yeah.
That's what I have. I was listening to her interview on the New York Times this morning, and there's a podcast of it, but you obviously only listen to this podcast.
Obviously.
This is the only one that exists. But
we're an amazing filter for just like saying other podcast words.
Yeah, delivering them to you in a concise way.
Yeah.
But she was talking about, she was like, oh, when she did Joanne, she was like, every song has got to be the part of this country thing. When she did Chromatic, she was like, every song's going to be part of, and she was like, and when I was writing this one, I was free to do whatever I want and let the song speak to me. But then I'm like, but it's actually a pretty cohesive out. Like, it doesn't feel like.
There's a couple of like shifts where you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
But apart from that.
Kind of pretty uniform sound. It's very 80s influenced. It's like.
Yeah. 80s and like sort of. Yeah, it's definitely 80s. I'm happy for her.
I'm happy for her as well.
Amazing too. This dark bob thing's really.
It's really working.
It's really working for
me.
I
love when they take her costume off and kill her, and then she does a little.
You've got to watch
the breakdown of that song. Is
chorus line. I'm telling you, if you haven't seen it yet, you've got to watch the performance up on a big screen too. I'd say, it just looks amazing, and she's done such a good job. And like Paris is working with her.
Yeah, I know.
God,
Kiwis out there.
We're out there doing it. It's amazing. Do you have a fact of the gay?
Yes, and it's related.
Oh, perfect.
Fact of the gay.
Yes, and it's related.
And this is one of those amazing things where I sort of looked this up, and I thought this will be a great fact. And then the fact is non-specific because no one really knows. But I was wondering,
that's interesting though.
What is the origin of the word abracadabra?
Abra-ooh-gaga.
Abra-ooh-gaga. What's the last bit of the chorus? Gugurara?
Abracadabra. Amor-ooh-gaga.
Amor-ooh-gaga. I'll look that up for the next podcast.
I don't know what that means.
Here's the thing. No one really knows about abracadabra. Derived from the Aramaic Hebrew, seems to have origins in antiquity as magical charms or protection. Tradition was continued as many medieval men and women believed these languages had a magical property as well. The belief originated with the use of the Hebrew words for divinity like Sabaoth, Adonai, and something I could not read if I tried.
Amazing that it's still kind of happening.
Yeah.
It's around. It's actually so nice that she's brought back abracadabra.
I know.
Because it could have been lost.
I know. And
it's up there with Open Sesame.
I love Open Sesame. I love Open Sesame. And what's
a great name for a restaurant, actually.
Yeah. And is everything going to be
like there'd be like sesame flavors?
Sesame
Open
oil.
Sesame. Should we go to Open Sesame?
I love a sesame dessert.
I feel like I've been to that restaurant.
What does that come? What was the original sesame though? Just sesame? Do you have to open the? Does it come like a sunflower seed in a little case?
I don't know. Don't Google it. It's better to.
No. Do you think we should just guess again?
We got to act like it's 1998 and just solve it.
Okay.
Open Sesame. I have no idea. I mean, Open Sesame. Fuck, I do want to know.
We have
to
look it up.
It's better not to know.
Okay.
It's better not to know.
I sort of imagine in my mind like a almost like Donald or Scrooge McDuck with his money, like that sort of area with sesame seeds, and then someone parting the sea of sesame seeds.
Open Sesame. It's not is it a magic phrase though, or is it more of a command?
It's sort of a password.
It is a
It's
password.
sort of a password.
It is a password.
It's the original password.
It's the original password.
Yeah. And
I would love my password
the O
to be
is a
open
0
sesame.
and the
It's a
E is a
Wi-Fi.
3.
It's a Wi-Fi password.
How many people do you think have open sesame? Yeah, because if you ever put in a password and then it
And
tells
it's like
you
S3
a lot of people have this.
at. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a shame when you're like, oh God, there's no new ideas.
I know.
I also do love in Wellington that restaurant Abracababra,
Perfect.
which is, I was like, they're genuinely geniuses.
Yeah.
But we also say kebab here sometimes. So it's kind of abracababra.
What's this one on King Street in Sydney that's called Naan? It's called Second to Naan.
No.
Okay, I've Googled it.
It's bad. He's going silent.
I'm looking at the AI overview. Kill me now.
Why is that? Why?
Oh,
Go on.
we've got a soloist.
Fuck yeah.
This is actually an amazing message that someone sent us. It's unreal. Okay. This is from Porter. Thank you so much for sending this, Porter.
So, soloists, by the way, you are individuals inside of our chorus line who have decided to step forward and
Yes.
give us a line of dialogue in this musical. So you can reach out anytime via messaging, voice. I'm loving voice memos at the moment.
The voice memos
Come through. We are an audio medium. So please.
Please send through the audio. Okay, so Porter sent us this. Sharing this trick to help with dumb AI summary bits at the top of a Google search.
Oh my God.
Here's what you got to do.
We need like a fact of the gay, queen of the week, and then this is like just the tip.
Oh, great.
come on.
Bring it back.
Bring
Bring
it
it back. That's on our original 2018 TVNZ show, available on the Substack. Okay, if you put a swear word in your Google search, it won't use AI. So instead of...
So you can be like, what the fuck does open sesame mean?
Yeah. Should I try it right now? I'll try it right now. What the fuck does open sesame mean?
I love.
Here you go. Yeah, it didn't come up with AI.
Oh my God. So everything is just going to be furiously asking questions now. Where the fuck can I get good brunch in Auckland?
Yeah. And then you won't get any AI bullshit. Isn't that good?
I love that so much.
What
What the shit is the weather doing today?
Gosh.
God, that's really fun. I've really lost you on your phone there.
I know. I'm just looking. So someone's guessed that maybe Open Sesame. So it's from Alibaba and the 40 Thieves.
Huh.
But it's just what someone says to open something. But someone says, is it related to Open Says Me or Open Says Me?
Oh.
Yeah, like it's just like...
Interesting.
Yeah.
God.
Or origin here. Sesame seeds grow in a seed pod that's split open when it reaches maturity. Phrase alludes to the unlocking of treasures, although it is not certain if it refers to the seed.
I've got a question for you.
Oh, sesame may also be from a Hebrew name, Sem, representing the Talmudic Sem Samim, the name of heaven. Like opening the door to heaven, I think.
Oh, that would make way more sense than a sesame pod.
And Babylonian magic uses sesame oil. A lot of options here. I know. It's like you want to move on so quick, but guess what? I'm not just going to leave it open. I worked hard. I did the Google search with the swear word.
I did all of it for you.
No, that wasn't AI. That was actually from Reddit.
How the fuck? What the fuck does open sesame mean? Out of like, say, 100% of all the fruits, seeds, spices, herbs, everything, what percentage do you know how they grow?
Probably 25%.
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah, really low.
Like when I saw hibiscus when I was in Vietnam, I couldn't believe
What a way go into it.
it was a gorgeous little flower, and I was like, "Duh, of course, hibiscus flower." But you eat the flower, and it tastes like hibiscus tea, like juicy, sour.
And is elderflower the same? Is that an actual
Fuck,
flower?
of course, it's a fucking flower.
Isn't
that crazy? It's like when you first see Brussels sprouts,
Go on.
and you're
I've
like,
only eaten them. I don't know how they...
"Have you seen how they grow?"
No.
Eli, don't get out your phone. I'm going to describe it.
Okay.
Huge stalk.
Oh, amazing.
Sprout all over the stalk.
All over them.
Like they're stalks with sprouts on them.
A little bit like bananas. Are bananas like that?
No, they're trees.
Oh, are they?
They're in the tree.
I thought a banana...
How did you think a banana grew?
I don't know. I thought it was like that, like a long thing and then just bunches of bananas all over the side.
I need you to draw that. Wait, a stick growing out of the ground,
Mm-hmm.
and then banana.
But you can't see the stick because it's just covered in bananas.
Okay.
I'm
So-
really wrong, am I?
You have banana trees.
And it's just like a tree trunk, and then
Like a
up the top
full
is bananas,
tree.
like an avocado tree.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, because it's fruit,
Mhm.
and then there's a big banana leaf, like a big banana leaf, which we've used to like, think of it when you wrap your
Yeah.
food in a banana leaf.
Mhm.
Then there's these quite crazy flowers. You can eat the flowers.
Really?
Yeah, I've eaten it once.
Do you know what? Do you know 100% of how the plants grow?
Well, we used to live in Kingsland. There was a man who had like quite a few tropical plants.
Oh wow!
And he had banana tree, and Brindley was forever trying to get the bananas off the tree.
Yeah,
But they're up
it
high.
Sounds like
Like
our
a
girl.
coconut.
Wow. When are they going extinct? You know, like every few years, like the bananas are about to go extinct.
It's like the
When they-
panda.
Yeah.
Go extinct already.
No.
That's what you're saying.
No, I'm just like, it's a news story that bananas, well, twofold. One, that they don't taste like they used to. That apparently, like, and that's the reason banana flavor tastes like it does, is because the original bananas from like the 1920s,
Yes.
from the roaring 20s, the bananas tasted like that.
It's like the kiwi fruit.
What about that?
Well, it got wiped out essentially, and now kiwi fruit are different, but they're yummier.
You know
So
what?
I watched a video on YouTube, and the title of it was called "How Kiwis Are Being Bred to Perfection." But they basically were like, "We're going to lose all the kiwi fruit."
You bred me to perfection.
You bred me to perfection.
to perfection. My compliments to the chef.
To the chef. Oh my God! Thank you for breeding me to perfection. Open sesame. Like we basically like, this is me like absolutely being like, I open my show in Adelaide in a week. I need to be writing and watching a 32-minute video on how kiwi fruit almost went extinct, or like kind of did, like a virus came out and like wiped a whole bunch out. And luckily there was like a science lab, which is like, oh, that's why, which I'm sure they're doing with bananas.
Yeah.
These like science labs sort of like harvest and like sort of learn about mutating, I guess, the
Genomes.
genomes to keep keep a variety of it alive.
Okay.
So they set up a new variety of kiwi fruit, the sun something. I don't actually like kiwi fruit. I don't know why I was watching this video.
You don't like kiwi fruit at all?
Nah.
I think it's yum.
Yeah, I've never liked it.
I love it. It's sour hit. And I
Yeah.
am, of course, the voice of the green zespri kiwi fruit.
Well, these ones are the yellow ones, but the
the
zespri was the
golden.
one that almost, golden.
Yeah.
The green one was the one that almost
Almost
so
count
count yourself lucky. You'd be out of a
Thank
voice
God.
job.
And please never let it go extinct, because that is a great voice job for me. Now, here's a good question for you.
Please.
And it was established in a conversation I had with a bunch of people who had not tried one before. How are you describing? Someone says, "What's a feijoa like?" How are you describing the feijoa?
This kind of sits inside of a category of fruit that I don't like to eat.
You don't like feijoa either?
Yeah, and I think it's the same kind of kids. Like you have like mandarin kids.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't call them that. and you have kiwi kids. And what our government is trying to do.
yeah. This is definitely not the clip. don't take this clip out.
But you know what I was like a mandarin boy.
Yeah, of course.
So it was always just like a mandarin in the lunchbox. Whereas I feel like, and I would say as well, kiwi fruit kids also were like a pottle of yogurt with a spoon in their lunchbox.
That's
kids.
me,
And I was a mandarin and a Marmite sandwich and like a ginger kiss.
Oh, gorgeous.
Quite weird.
I always thought the ginger kiss kids. I would always.
I never had a
Whoa.
kiwi fruit spoon. Like it just wasn't my.
Oh, I never had a kiwi fruit spoon. No, you know, one with a knife on the side.
Yeah.
I actually hate those, unless that's a Zespri product, in which case I love it.
And I'll be the voice
And I'll be-
of that too.
I'm happy
Can
to
I
be-
be the voice of the spoon?
No, I was a raw spoon and would use the same spoon for my yogurt.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's why the parents are like, I've got a spoon in here, man. So I like throw a pottle of yogurt in. I hated those kids that would always like lift a little bit of the lid up and slurp the yogurt out.
I hate those kids. I was.
What the fuck is wrong with those kids?
It's just amazing how many times I did this. And I think this is indicative of my personality in general, but just have a yogurt loose in the bag and then it would explode and then I'd have yogurt in my bag. And it probably happened 2-3 times a year.
And there's another kid as well, which is like your cult.
Bread bag.
Oh, bread bag.
Bread bag kid, of course.
I actually tried to like rock a bread bag for a while. Like it wasn't who I was, if you know. It felt a little bit like appropriative.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm at high school. It was even at high school. It was like cooler to take your lunch in a bread bag.
A bread bag, yeah. It is kind of cool, but then there's like bread on your apple.
Yeah.
There's like little bits of bread everywhere.
Completely obliterates your lunch. You're like, bread bag, full clarinet on top of it. Like drama book, character shoes. Oh God! No, you go.
Do you have a queen of the week?
Queen of the week.
Look, let's see if we can knock her off her throne. But I do feel like it could be Gaga.
Here's another option.
Please,
Marlon Williams.
Oh my God!
I mean, he's definitely been queen of the week before, which maybe is a reason. But I just am loving.
I'm loving this whole thing.
This era. Dare I say his new era?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I love that. Marlon Williams. This is just again like another artist that we've been lucky to like grow up with.
You literally went to school.
Went to school with
and it's
him.
one of the most incredible singing voices.
I'll never forget that production. I mean, he's got to do it.
Come back and play Jesus again.
He was Jesus Christ in our production of Jesus Christ Superstar. Yeah, and the people are like, we're still on this quest to get Dan Carter on this podcast. But as a sort of secondary quest to this,
we want Marlon to play Jesus again.
Ideally, I'm playing Caiaphas. Eddie could do Pontius Pilate. He's Eddie, for context, our friend who provides our facts of the gays.
Yeah, because he's a straight man, but something's up. Something's going on with his TikTok algorithm.
And trivia isn't just, there has to be straight stuff. Sometimes it can be gay trivia.
It's gay trivia as well.
And then maybe Anna played Mary Magdalene, but I think anyone. I don't want to.
Get Kimbra in.
Absolutely. Let's cast this with right now New Zealand musician royalty. So Marlon Williams, Jesus Christ Superstar. I mean, I've seen Julia Deans do Mary Magdalene. She'd be unreal, phenomenal. I do like the idea of Kimber in there.
Stan Walker Judas. He would.
Are you
eat it up?
Fucking
he would eat
kidding?
It up.
I want to see that. Like immediately. Are you kidding?
That would be unreal.
That would be
unreal.
Real. Oh, I've got full body chills.
Yeah.
I'm crying at the idea of that. He has the voice for that.
Yeah.
Fuck, that'd Eli. That's the best idea you've ever had.
Thank you so much for saying so.
Okay.
Who's playing? Is it Simon who sings? I think you
Peter.
will. Peter. That is one of my favorite songs.
Dave Dobbin.
Your choice now. Yeah, Dave Dobbin would be great. Or
I think part of the Apostles is 660 and LAB.
I know.
Like
yes, I was thinking
it's a
that
combination of.
I don't know.
Or it's like Salmonella Dub, because there's like, in my mind, a lot of them.
Tikitane.
Yeah, Lady Six.
Jen Wigmore. Now we're just naming New Zealand artists.
Okay, who's playing?
Who's playing Caiaphas? Who's got a deep bass? Lord.
Oh, gentleman. And she's just in like a big hood.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? That's going to be amazing. Okay, Lord's locked in. And then I think we give potentially... Okay, King Herod.
Fantastic.
Campy little role.
Shout out Madeline Sami. Shout out
Could be
Ruben K playing it recently. Lots of campiest artists in the world play this role.
Who are we going for?
King Herod.
It's like, it could be Anika Moore. It could be Jen Wigmore.
It could be Jen Wigmore with that quirky little voice. That quirky little voice of hers.
Cause you are the Christ, you're
Yeah. Wait, what's Teeks playing?
Oh my God.
Sorry. It's like emergency.
Emergency.
We need to find a role for Teeks.
Yeah.
He could be Pontius Pilate. But
no, he can be
Simon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Peter, whatever his name is.
Peter.
I think you've made beautiful. He's in Cast.
Yeah. Cast. Locked in.
And like, if we don't have you're the princess of the week, Teeks.
Yeah, you really are. We adore
We
you.
see you.
Your TikTok gave us shivers down our spine.
Need us say more?
Yeah.
Just head over to Teeks TikTok.
And you will see some
see it
real
all
treats.
there.
You'll see some real treats. We love you, Teeks.
We love you. We love that song too. Okay, we need to land on King Herod. Kind of who's funny, wacky,
campy,
goofy.
The guy from Good Shirt. There's some comedy music videos.
Conan Moccasin,
the singer from LMNOP. Oh, Conan Moccasin's not a bad shout. Oh, Algis Harding.
Oh my god. Done.
It actually doesn't get better.
Oh, it actually doesn't get better.
That's amazing.
God. Well, that's Cast. And
that's Cast.
Fucking, I don't know who we're going to have to ask. Who's got the money to do that.
Yeah.
But we are desperate for this production.
Yeah. And if you
didn't just televise it, like a sort of live.
Oh, a live event. Like when they do Rent Live or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we could do it for Easter.
That'd be amazing. Just cute, rangatira.
Yeah.
Beautiful
absolutely.
space
Not
for
a big
it.
ask.
Yeah. No, yeah, gorgeous.
You know, doing the domain or something.
Oh yeah, outside. Outside, gorgeous.
Yeah.
They should do it as part of Symphony.
Yeah, I'm literally so desperate. I feel like we should just put it out there.
Yeah.
Obviously, whoever we can get, but let's start with Stan and Marlon.
Yeah.
I think if we get one, we get the other. You know, it's going to happen.
I agree.
I know Marlon wants to sing that again for sure.
Gethsemane?
Come on, if you've sung that once, you want to sing it again.
And what about how we're going to hear Cynthia Erivo sing it? Well, I don't know if we personally, you know, she's playing Jesus.
Oh yes, I saw that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Same.
It's kind of like it's like the perfect vocalist for that show. Like she's going to be incredible.
She's going to.
But I love that it almost like it does two things, which is one, satisfies people who love musical theatre and love Cynthia and love that musical. They're going to go perfect.
Yeah.
And it kind of rage baits the right.
Yeah.
In a way that sort of trolls them and makes me laugh a lot.
It's awesome.
It's so good.
I love seeing everyone pulling out of performing at the Kennedy Center at the moment. I'm like, there's a massive list. And then the Kennedy Center's been like, all of this was due to scheduling. And then all of those people individually have put out another statement being like, this wasn't due to scheduling.
This is ruined now.
Yeah.
I love the Kennedy Center performances. It's such a shame.
No.
Okay, do we have anything to talk about backstage?
God, what's going on? Did you watch any good movies on the plane or
what did I watch? I
can talk about Mickey 17. I saw that.
Let's do a movie review.
Movie roundup.
So we'll do a movie roundup.
Roger and Ebert. Is Roger Ebert one person or are Roger and Ebert two critics?
All I can think of is Kate Roger.
Kate Roger. Sorry.
She is the film reviewer.
The film reviewer.
So come on over backstage if you want to hear us review all the movies we've seen this year.
Yeah.
Currently.
Great.
And we've done the Oscars, yeah. So it's all new movies.
It's all new
Nothing
movies.
that's been out. Nothing. Yeah. Although the only movie I've seen is a real pain, but I'm keen to talk about it.
Let's get into it.
Okay. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. You can subscribe to our Substack if you want to hear this extra stuff.
And please book to see us.
Please.
We are both touring Australia and New Zealand.
I cannot emphasize enough how much we are both going on tour this year. We are both doing an hour of brand new stand-up. So if you saw us last year, it's a completely different show.
Completely new show.
I feel like I have to drum this down because every day I get a message from someone that's like, are you touring again? And is it the same show? And I'm like,
no.
I feel like I've been screaming at Instagram.
The messaging could not be louder.
So new shows. We're as funny as we've ever been.
Yeah.
This is our mayhem era.
Yeah, we are in our mayhem era. The things you loved that we used to do, we've got new versions of those.
Yeah, we're doing Melbourne. Where else?
I'm doing Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane.
I'm doing Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, and Perth.
Nice.
And then New Zealand tour.
Yes, my Dunedin shows are very soon. Dunedin and Christchurch. And the Court Theatre stage. One of the
new
last ever shows. No, to be in the shed.
Wow.
And I was in the first show in the shed. I was in the Elves and the Shoemaker.
Two perfect shows there in the Court Theatres.
Book in the era.
They started with Elves and the Shoemaker and they'll end with
Heaven's Devil.
Heaven's Devil.
Nice.
Gorgeous. All right.
See
Love you.
backstage. Bye.
I'm sorry, Mom. It's not a phase.